Hello there guys, and welcome back to episode 7 of the State of Decay 2 coverage. So PAX East is happening right now, and Undead Labs is on the floor, and we have a lot of great details and confirmations about State of Decay 2 coming from interviews given by the executive director Jeff Strain. So we're going to break down this interview in this episode and the next so that we can cover everything. So we're going to talk about the co-op feature and the new confirmations we got, but first we have some big news. As many of you may know, there was an offline progression system within State of Decay 1, and this offline progression system would continue when you're not playing, and this system would lead to things happening that were out of your control. And well guys, long story short, that is gone. That is not going to be a part of the State of Decay 2 experience. And that is awesome. It's great to have confirmation on that. And that's a new thing we know. And I think that's going to make a lot of the fans happy. So let's talk co-op. So this interview had a lot of details about co-op. So we're going to go through and in and out of what was talked about with the co-op experience. So let me start by saying that we know now for a fact that there is no adversarial type of co-op, or otherwise known as player versus player. This is a cooperative form of multiplayer, not a competitive form of multiplayer in State of Decay 2. And I thought that was a no-brainer, but some of the players were asking if there would be a PvP type of system, and there isn't. So we know that for a fact now, guys. So we don't need to ask that question anymore. So we're going to summarize a lot of the parts in the interview just so that we're not sitting here and reading paragraph after paragraph. So one of the things that was talked about was the balancing and the scaling of difficulty and zombie density when it came to whether you're playing with one other person or up to 4 other players. So the question was, what does the game do to balance or scale if you're playing with 4 players compared to playing with just 1 or 2 other players? And this is what Jeff Strain had to say, and it was very interesting. Jeff Strain says, "We're modeling a real world. Resources are finite. Your stamina is finite. Gasoline is finite. All of the resources are finite. If you have friends playing with you, that should be a bonus. We don't want to just automatically up the zombie density." So in summary, Jeff made a point to mention that no matter whether you're playing by yourself or up to 4 players, the game won't scale in difficulty. Jeff also says playing with your friends should be more fun, and you should be able to do more things. All of those entropy rules are still there. Eventually, mistakes will still be just as costly, and now you have more people to possibly make those mistakes. So guys, this is going to be crazy because the idea is that you will most likely be playing as a community member in your friend's, story, and if you die, that community member then will be permanently gone within your friend's story, and vice versa. So this will add a dynamic between you and your friends, because you definitely don't want to kill off one of your friend's community, and I'm sure he doesn't want to kill off a person within your community. So I think that's going to add a really cool dynamic. I can't wait to see how that works. And it does seem that the co-op within State of Decay 2, as they're talking about it, it's becoming more apparent that they're really this isn't just a tacked on experience. This is going to be a pillar within State of Decay 2, and that's pretty exciting to see, because that's one thing that was kind of missing from the first one, was that feeling of being able to explore the world and survive with your friends. So Jeff was also asked, what is the most challenging aspect of developing multiplayer within State of Decay 2? And what Jeff had to say was very interesting and gave insight into how the game may play out whilst playing with friends. So Jeff Strain says, quote, "Because the game is so strictly simulated, we work very hard to make sure that nothing is deterministic. that there's no tripwires, there's no triggered sequences. All of the behaviors in the world are modeled for both the zombies and the NPCs that inhabit your community. There's 14 to 20 different interlocking systems that contribute to all of this. For AI behaviors and world conditions, those all have to be perfectly in sync in order for the experience to feel believable and right. Constantly tuning all those knobs so that everything is working well is a real challenge. End quote. So, this is very interesting. The thing that catches me is when he said that there is 14 to 20 different interlocking systems that play a role in the behavior of the AI, whether that be a part of your community or a zombie. I think that's very interesting. I can't wait to see what these 14 to 20 different interlocking systems may be, because who knows, what enhancements and new things they're adding to the game that will make the survival and the dynamic narrative really sit well with players and have it be a different experience for everyone. So, with co-op being a part of State of Decay 2, guys, this changes the dynamic drastically on how they're going to be doing their storytelling and how the game will play. Mainly because Jeff Strain goes into how the NPCs inhabit the world and how the zombies inhabit the world. It's going to be different from the triggered sequences that we saw in the first ones. So a lot of the storytelling that was kind of linear within Save Decay 1 is going to be a lot different within Save Decay 2, and the storytelling will not be as linear as go here, after that sequence is done, then you go here, after that sequence is done, then you go here. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be more open, and I'm getting more of a RPG type of storytelling vibe from what is being said about State of Decay 2. So guys, that's everything we know right now about co-op that just was talked about within an awesome interview. If you guys want to read all of this, you guys can find this on GameSpot, IGN. The interview is practically everywhere when it comes to the gaming news outlets. So you guys can find this interview and read all of the awesome details. But if you don't feel like doing that, come back for episode 2 of the interview coverage, because we're going to be talking about a lot more that was talked about within this interview at PAX East. But yeah, guys, it's super exciting. I can't wait to, come back for episode 8. But this has been episode 7, guys. Co-op sounds awesome. I can't wait. I love you guys. This has been an Arky Games cast. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.